All right. What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo. Tonight, Sunday night, just chatting. We got a ton to talk about. We got Black Adam. We got Andor. We've got House of the Dragon. I almost forgot. Yes. And we got some Marvel tidbits that came up recently. A Marvel and a Star Wars tidbit that kind of came up today that I'm going to share that I have not shared with these gentlemen yet, but we can talk about that in a little bit. So make sure, if you're worried about that Star Wars and MCU teaser, we'll talk about it a little later. So hang on with us for a bit. But before we get started, gentlemen, how are you doing?
I would be grand. I'm grand. Thank you for asking. The weekend started off great. Seeing Keith from 838. That was nice. Stopping in our dimension with me and Doug to see Black Adam. That was a good start to the weekend. Doug, how are you feeling?
Well, Dave, let me tell you, I am outstanding. It's been a pretty decent weekend. The week was pretty darn good, so even better than last weekend when I was exhausted and slurping down coffee. Keith was tired, and it was kind of a blur at this point. I kind of barely remember. We talked about things, I'm sure of that, but this weekend has been good. It's been really good, and I am feeling outstanding. Got to finally go back to the theater, got to see Black Adam, and if you haven't checked out our At the Theater review, make sure you head over to YouTube and check that out. And with that, Keith, sir, how are you?
I am tremendous. Now, I'm a little embarrassed that you got such a better looking variant of myself to show up on Thursday. Although, I mean, ketchup on hot dogs, something's wrong with that guy. Few tacos short of a combo platter, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, you're not opposites. He's just you that likes ketchup.
Yes. I don't hate ketchup. It just does not belong on hot dogs. Everybody knows that.
I know that.
But even though I wasn't with you guys on Thursday, I was able to take the wife and kid, the youngest, out to see it this morning. We were going to go see it on Friday. Unfortunately, the kid got sick. He was sick almost all week. We took him back to school. It was a little too soon. He was rushing a little too much. He got sick. Saturday, we had to take him to the doctor because he woke up and said his ear hurt. So doctor looked at it and said, yep, bad ear infection. We'll get you some amoxicillin and you're on your way. So he had
I used to get those every year, man. I feel so bad for him.
Well, he had one dose and he was like, I feel great. It's like, slow down, dude. We made this mistake on Thursday. But yeah. He's been doing great.
Was he Sonic the Hedgehog? Gotta go fast, Dad.
Yes, exactly. But he did. Well, I mean, we might as well just jump right into it today because we were talking about it before the stream tonight. We were talking about Black Adam. I think we all have about the same feelings on it. Was a
terrible,
good movie.
Worst movie ever.
No, very middle of the road. It was a movie. That's it was. If you're not looking for depth, it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of action in it. So much action that. Oh, hello, Carrie. A lot of action that. It just never stopped. So they didn't have time to develop anything. I know when they got to a moment where they wanted a crescendo to this big moment, and it wasn't there because it had been just nonstop action until that point.
Totally agree with you. Should we go ahead and put out a blanket warning right now, just letting everybody know that now that we are getting into talking about Black Adam, as we promised in our At the Theater review, this is now spoiler territory. We will be spoiling this movie. We'll be talking about the characters. We'll be talking about the end credit scene and all of the stuff that happened throughout the movie. So, if you have not seen it yet, scurry away for a little bit.
Or if you don't mind spoilers, you can stay too.
True. If you don't mind spoilers, if you're going to skip this anyway.
And Carrie said, "Spoil away." Let me just answer one question she asked: was Superman in it? Yes, he was. In the post-credit scene. I won't say much more, but it was. Did you guys catch, by the way? Did you guys catch what was being played while he stepped out? The John Williams Superman theme. Yeah. That was a very nice touch. I was like,
that was cool. I had a question
though. That had to really get on the Snyder bot nerves.
Why is Amanda Waller in charge. Isn't she just like the Suicide Squad? Why? How come she's
No, she's
for everything now?
over more than that. She always has been. She in the comics was in charge of the Cadmus program as well, and she's like the head honcho in charge of basically superhuman or meta affairs for the U.S. government.
Oh,
That's-
by the way, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but
ADD moment.
yes, ADHD.
Squirrel.
Harcourt in this
Yeah.
movie ties that in with Peacemaker. Pretty damn cool, right?
That was very cool.
Somebody had to point that out that she was in it because I did not catch that at all.
When they brought depowered Teth Adam into the thing, she came out and got him.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was her.
I missed that. I missed that because last night I was at a scary movie Halloween party thing, and somebody was like, "Oh yeah, wasn't it really cool that that she was in it?" And I'm like, "She was?" I'm like, "I missed that. I wasn't paying very good attention, I guess." But yeah, that is.
I thought
really
about
cool.
mentioning it that night, but I thought you caught it. So
No, I didn't. I didn't even. I missed her.
yeah.
So yes, that is a very cool connection.
Yeah,
Yes,
there's-
I'm bad at my job.
Now, if they were like, I think this is what I was getting into before we stopped talking before we streamed, was that they want to make this the Iron Man, what Iron Man was to the MCU. They want to make this for the DCEU. Like, this is the starting point for their movies. This is they're going to build from here. Yeah, that's what The Rock said, and I just looked at it like it really looked like they were trying to piece it together very Avengers style, like the first Avengers. They wanted to bring in all these heroes and then fight this big battle, but they weren't the top-notch heroes, mind you. They just wanted to have a team together, but they all kind of acted like somebody in the MCU for those moments.
The one thing,
But here's why I don't. They did it wrong if that's what they were attempting to do.
Well, they did it wrong.
Because what the Avengers did right is they gave a moment for each one of the heroes that would make up the Avengers. They had a moment where it was just focused on Black Widow, a moment just for the Hulk, a moment just for, Iron Man. Like, everybody had their time to shine. And so if that was what they were attempting to do with this movie, ooh, they really dropped the ball there because they kind of just said, oh yeah, here's the Justice Society and Amanda Waller's in charge of them, and here you go.
the one thing I will say that gave me a little hope. You guys are right. This is no Iron Man of the DCEU. It was enjoyable.
This isn't Iron Man, this isn't the Avengers.
It had almost no depth outside of Black Adam's character. They really, outside of Cyclone and Atom Smasher, kind of budding, maybe even a budding romance perhaps, but their interaction, very little. All the other characters were kind of left sort of flat and empty. But the one thing I will say, if you have read or in for our giveaway on YouTube, if you're not, go there. At least it stuck to the comics. They didn't try to shoehorn the Justice League in here because
That's
it's
right.
always been the Justice Society and Black Adam, and so they did the right thing in that sense, and gives me some hope that at least now, instead of just going, we need these guys in, is out. They're like, well, here's a good story. Let's have Black Adam and the Justice Society handle this, and I always called it Conadoc, and they call it Condoc, and I was like. So I looked it up, and the pronunciation online, if you believe Google, is Conadoc. So I wonder, I feel bad saying it like that now, because now I feel like I'm wrong. But who knows? But, it was an enjoyable movie. My 6-year-old went today, and he loved it. He loves The Rock, though. He thinks Dwayne Johnson is great, which he is pretty great. Don't get me wrong. He's a cool dude. He seems like a good dude. But,
Hey, when I was 6, I probably would have thought The Rock was great. I mean, I loved Hulk Hogan, but at the same time, I also loved, the Care Bears and, so, yeah.
true.
The real Ghostbusters were, in fact, real. They were alive and doing well, according to my young mind.
But I mean, at least they made something that was enjoyable. I mean, after some of the flops that they've had, where they've tried
It wasn't a big
to,
mess.
they didn't screw up
Yes,
any
it was
characters
not a
too
big
much.
mess, you're right.
The changes they made to the characters fit for the movie cinematic, their cinematic movie universe, and they didn't really mess anything up. I thought, for the most part, the acting was good, the music was fine. It wasn't anything spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hearing the little John Williams Superman nod at the end, I thought was great. I thought they're like, hey, we're not going to, you know, forget our good past just because we want to create something. And I'm hopeful. I'm a little more hopeful after seeing this movie than I was before, only because they seem to be making better decisions.
You know, and I think I said it last week. Maybe we could go back and YouTube and watch it, but I think I said that, you know, that part on the commercial where he says, nobody on Earth can stop me. I think I said that was going to be the post-credits scene where Superman drops in and says, well, I can stop you. I'm not from Earth, you know?
That was great when Waller says, I called in some favors from people outside the planet. I was like, oh, that's great.
At that point, I already
we're
knew
always
he
right,
was
never
supposed
wrong.
to show up. But
What's
if
that?
I hadn't known, if they hadn't leaked it, and they hadn't, you know, mentioned that they got Henry Cavill back, it would have been funny if, like, that would have been the way they introduced the Green Lantern or something.
Yeah, because, you know, it couldn't have been Jon Stewart or Hal Jordan. It would have to be somebody from off planet. Right? She said she
that's
contacts
true.
people from off
Well,
planet.
now, her words were, she said, I got somebody from off planet. They don't necessarily always stay on Earth. If from a certain point of view.
Okay, Obi-Wan.
Oh, yeah, Obi-Wan.
See, but while I was watching this too, the post-credit scene, while we're talking about it, I wonder if we're going to get any sort of post-credit scene or any knowledge with the Wizard telling Shazam, you know, who Doug calls Captain Marvel incorrectly, about Teth Adam and about him being freed, and maybe he has to do something about it. Because we know that the Wizards aren't happy with who has their power.
I wonder
Maybe,
that
you
too.
know, that's a Shazam 3.
I'm not sure, because if they would have stuck closer to the way that his character was in the comics, and especially the Keith, if you could show that one more time.
Oh, yeah.
Especially his characterization in this awesome graphic novel that we're giving away, he would have definitely been leaning a little bit more in the direction of anti-hero, a little bit closer to villain. I assume Warner and probably The Rock too did not want that, because they do want to be able to use him interchangeably, like, oh, he can be a hero, he can be a... But if they would have stuck a little bit closer to his characterization, yes, I could definitely see him going up against Shazam. But the way that he is right now, I don't know. I don't see that happening.
If he leaves Kanadac.
If he does, but
I thought you said Haley's
what though?
comic.
What would he do it for? Like, what would be his reasoning?
To leave? I don't know.
Didn't
Maybe he's
he say
going
that he wanted to stay there for his people or whatever?
Well, he did. He said he wanted to be a protector of them. But you don't have to always be in Kanadac to be the protector. If he feels someone is threatening him outside, he may leave. And I mean, with the way they portrayed him, he's I'm going to do as I please. So I don't see him staying in Kanadac just because they told him to. I got a feeling that.
It's Canada. That's
Oh,
how you pronounce it.
Canada. They're Canadian.
Not
Take-
Canada.
not one
or whatever
person.
You're saying.
Not one person said, "Take off, eh, you hosers."
Take off, you hoses. eh?
I don't know. That didn't really look like the Great White North.
No, it sure didn't. Must have been summertime.
Well, you know, there's some really arid parts, you know.
Oh, are there? Okay.
It's a big country.
So I will say that I did like his introduction when they brought him, when they brought The Rock back, or when they brought Black Adam back. I like the way that they presented it, that he had to be like released of the spell. And you know what? I didn't mind the fact that they changed it from from his nephew to his son for this movie. I think that made the character of Teth Adam a little bit more, like, you could associate with him a bit more. You could feel a little bit bad for him in a way, like, oh man, yeah, he lost his son, they killed his son. In the comics, spoiler for anybody who hasn't read his backstory, it is not his son, it is his nephew, and he kills his nephew to steal his power to become Black Adam. So it definitely makes him definitely a better character.
They softened him a bit.
They definitely softened him, made him a more like a relatable character, because if they would have stuck with his original backstory, it would have been like, oh, that's not cool. I don't like that guy.
His son is definitely the more virtuous.
Yes.
And yeah, and as I said in the movie, that's who the statue was for.
Yeah.
And I think they did a great job with a lot of the CGI and special effects in this movie. This movie looked pretty
In some
damn
areas.
nice. There was some hiccups here and there, but for the
I
most part,
thought the field when the plane was coming out of it at Hawkman's mansion, that was rough. That could have been better.
yeah,
It looked like that still needed a few extra layers of CG added to it.
Yeah,
we
you
did-
know, and it wouldn't take much for each of that team, each member of that team, maybe 5 minutes of scenes for each one of them to add the depth that we're talking about. It wouldn't take that much, really. I mean,
Even-
like Doug was saying, look at Guardians of the Galaxy. Look how fast you got into like Groot and Rocket. You know, their opening scene, they're just looking for bounties. All right, we already know they're bounty hunters. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but they're joking around, and then the next scene you get to know them. They got it right like that. That's the problem with the DC.
well, yeah, Dr. Fate, Hawkman, Cyclone, and Atom Smasher all have very good backstories in the comics.
Yeah.
And they could have easily. One of the things that I really thought Hawkman was going to die in this movie
Me too.
because he always comes back. Hawkman and Hawkgirl always come back.
Yep.
They die and then they come back again. So I'm like, okay, they're going to kill off Hawkman in this because then they can say he's coming back, and they didn't. I was kind of shocked.
I thought
wasn't-
for sure it was going to be Cyclone. I really thought. I turned to alternate Keith, and I'm like, she's going to die. They're forming this this sort of bond, and yeah, they're going to have to kill her off. And then Atom Smasher, because I was waiting for him to turn. Because again, I hate to keep going back to the graphic novel. In the graphic novel, he does join sides with Black Adam and does some things that are regrettable. And I was waiting for something to be the driving force that would push him to that point.
Well, and you did see in that scene at the end where he's like, we made a good team. He kind of looks up and respects Black Adam a little bit. Like, he's not so goody-goody like Hawkman and Dr. Fate were. He was kind of seeing that, hey, he took
We're
care
not
of
so
business.
different, you and I.
So I think they set the seeds if they do want to have something where there's sort of a split and Atom Smasher joins Black Adam and breaks it off. They have that set now, so they can do it. So even though it was a silly little scene, they have set some breadcrumbs out where they could go down that path, which to me DC doesn't usually do. So it was nice to see them add a little something like that for that.
And Keith, you didn't see it with us. I mean, technically you did, but
Well, a variant, that doesn't mean I saw it.
what did you think of the T2 kind of reference where he's telling him how to do the one-liners? Do the one-liner before I kill the guy. You know what he's doing? I thought that was very Terminator too.
We went out to dinner tonight with my family and my brother and nephew who had seen it. They said, did you like it? I'm like, it was enjoyable. I could have done without they almost did a parallel to Shazam where the kid was like, oh my God, you can fly, you can do this, you can do this. Oh, you need a one-liner and stuff. And I was just like, I was hoping, praying that at the end of the movie, he wasn't going to say, tell him the man in black sent you.
You
And he
knew
did.
he was going.
I know, but I'm like, don't do it. I mean, it was kind of a little bit out of character for him.
Yes.
It was like they thought the movie needed that when it didn't.
We need some
Yeah, I
levity.
thought-
Oh, God.
A lot of the jokes fell flat. I mean, I could tell what they were trying to do, and you can kind of just go, well, they tried. It didn't. They weren't terrible jokes. They're just like,
Oh, yeah,
that's-
no. It wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Yeah.
There was one joke with the brother. Man, I can't remember what it is now. Where he like said something, then like, oh, he talked about when the kid's like, oh, you got a bald spot or whatever, and he said, oh, that's just so, you keep a cool spot around something or another. And then if he just would have said that, it would have been okay. But then he's like, I'm like, oh, dude, you didn't need to touch your head. That kind of.
Took
You
the
really
joke
think
one
you
step
don't
further than
understand
it
the
needed
joke?
to be.
That kind of thing. If you need to explain the joke, it's not funny.
Yes.
Yep.
But, I mean, I think, I'm hoping we get a JSA movie coming out with some of the more members because, Justice Society, I think they need to hold off on Justice League a little bit. well, for one, the Flash will be changing actors here probably pretty soon.
What?
I know.
Why?
And
I wonder how that plays into this new Rocks DCU Flash.
well,
He is a perfect, wonderful individual, and you should respect him for the hero that he is.
I'm sorry. I'll go see him. I'll go see him when he's in prison.
Well, you can go see him on his cult right now, can't you?
I don't know. Nobody knows where he is.
Mm.
He's too fast.
let's go on a little tangent time here, gentlemen,
Ooh,
because two little tidbits about the DCEU that have come up. One, it sounds like they're fast tracking Black Adam 2. This movie made $68 million this weekend, which wasn't huge.
It's good for an after the pandemic movie, though. I'd
Yeah,
say.
yeah. It's not like, holy hell,
It's not
I can't
like
believe it made
Spider-Man
that
or
much.
anything.
But they have said the producers and the director are like, hey, oh, and are you guys watching it tonight or on a different day for Dragons? We will be watching Dragons either after our stream tonight or tomorrow. So we're going to talk about last week's episode and what we think may happen tonight. But we are definitely not going to be talking about the season finale tonight.
Not until Thursday.
Not until Thursday, yes. Where we'll be playing either Gotham Knights or Guardians of the Galaxy and talking about the season finale. But not only are they fast tracking a Black Adam sequel, supposedly, once again, none of this has been confirmed, but the reason we've been getting reports that the actor George, I think his name's George McKay, is going to be replacing Ezra Miller as Barry Allen in the DCEU, is because they already have a script for the next Flash movie, and they're so confident in this Flash movie and the test screenings and all that's done that they want to get a second Flash movie out as quickly as possible. So,
Okay.
Is Solomon Grundy in it?
in Injustice, yes.
No,
In
no,
this
no.
movie?
In
No.
the next Flash movie.
I haven't read the script yet.
Well, no, but Dave wrote it, right?
Well, I don't have the connections. You're the one with the connections in DC, so.
Oh, I can never keep it straight.
Yeah.
I wonder
Who wrote
if
the book
they're
of love?
misunderstanding. I wonder if they're misunderstanding the fact that it might not be the character of the Flash, or at least not the Ezra Miller version of the Flash, that is making the movie good. Maybe it was that particular story. Maybe it was the fact that it was Flashpoint and they had the different versions of Flash and the different versions of Batman. I wonder if they're misunderstanding the story that they had for that movie and thinking that if they do another Flash movie, it's going to get just as much of a draw, minus that same story.
Possibly. And Carrie asks, who's the new Flash actor? Tell me the guy from the TV show.
No.
Not Grant Gustin. It's George, I think it's George McKay, and he is from the movie 1917. So,
That's right. I forgot that's what he was in.
speaking of the Flash show, did you guys hear for what's going on for season 9? Figure while we're on tangent time, we might as well go off.
They still have a.
It's
I
still
thought
on?
it-
Final season 9, starting soon. I think it's half a season. It's like 12 episodes.
8 episodes. Oh, 12.
But guess who is the actress who played Batwoman is going to be in season 9 as Red Death. That is a Batman Flash. No, not Ruby Rose. She left the role. I can't remember the second actress took over. I can't remember her name, but she's going to be Red Death in season 9 of the Flash, which is like another Flash, like speedster, but it's Batman speedster. In this case, it's Batwoman speedster. Not enough
Hang
for
on.
me to
1
watch.
second.
1 second. Oh, okay.
Oh,
I don't
now
know
we
if
can-
you want to
Now we can talk
bring
about
that.
Dave.
I don't know if you want to bring that image up or if you're able to, Keith. But that way, the folks playing the home game
I can
and
let,
see.
let me
All right.
download that bad boy. Let me get into our.
I wonder. Do you think Warner wants to? Do you think the reason why they don't want Grant Gustin to play the big screen Flash is because they want to keep that separation between the TV show universes and the movie universes, or do you think there's some other reason? Do you think maybe Grant is saying that he doesn't want to do it, he wants to do other things other than continuously playing a version of the Flash, or
You know, that's a good question. And that picture that Doug just talked about is up. Obviously the one on the right is Ezra Miller. The one on the left is George McCloud, who is supposedly. Your name changed to something weird.
Bad Swicknick.
okay. Anyway, continue.
My name backwards.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the gentleman on the left is the guy who supposedly, once again not confirmed, taking over the role of the Flash after the Flash movie, which is coming out in almost a year.
The only two pictures I've seen that guy in, he doesn't look happy, and the Flash is a happy guy. So hopefully
he's an
got a better smile than that.
He's an actor, Dave. He can be happy.
No, you can't do that. Once you're brooding. Just ask Zack Snyder.
I would never ask Zack Snyder this stuff. But speaking of Zack Snyder, while we are still in tangent time, I learned something interesting today that I don't know if you two gentlemen knew. Did you know the original idea behind Batman Begins was supposed to be something kind of on the same level as a Snyder film, but not written by him? It was actually written by one of the writers that went on to create Smallville and Frank Miller. The two of them wrote a script.
Was 6 years before Batman Begins.
I know. I'm telling you, the original script that they had written for it before it became what it was in theaters. So this was in the 90s. They had written the script, and they were going to. It was hot off the tails of Batman and Robin. They're like, okay, we need to darken Batman up. This is not working. This did terrible in theaters. We need a new movie that explores his beginnings. And they brought on this guy because he had just finished writing Iron Giant. And they're like, okay, this guy clearly, like, it was an animated thing, but he gets superheroes, and he gets, like, different things that can, like, traumatize him. He would be perfect for this. And like, all right, we also need to get Frank Miller in here because he's really good at writing dark comics. And the two of them wrote basically a rated R Batman movie where he's just going around the world beating the shit out of people. And then they ended it with, oh, and by the way, he never puts on the cape and cowl. And it was literally going to be inspired by Year One, but it was just going to be him throughout the entire film. It was going to be him going from, like, country to country. And then, eventually, when they were done with the script, they're like, oh, you know what? This is too long to be a movie. We need to turn this into a TV show. And so that was what they had originally pitched. Huh?
Gilbert Gottfried got cashed in.
So what you're saying is they wanted to make a Batman Smallville show, but they weren't allowed. So they made Smallville.
The original idea for Smallville was to do exactly what Doug's saying.
Yep.
They were going to do Batman in that form, but they couldn't, for some reason, they couldn't get it the way they wanted, and they switched it to Superman.
Sort of, kind of, yeah. You are very close. Let me see here. Where are my...
It sounds like they wanted them to be so brutal. The CW was probably like, we can't have our kiddie shows with such a guy beating the crap out of everybody. We need that Tom Welling guy. He's a handsome dude. Maybe he could come in and be like a beacon of hope. You guys want to do Superman?
And that's the reason they had the rule, no tights, no flights on Smallville, because... they didn't want to show him as the superhero.
Yeah, so the writer that I was talking about, I couldn't remember his name. His name was Tim McCanley's? I can't say his last name.
From Smallville?
Yep, he was the writer of Smallville. He was the one who wrote this Batman script with Frank Miller. But yeah, they had returned to their original gruesome script into a TV series. It plotted out an entire run that would follow a globe-trotting young Bruce Wayne, learning all the various skills that he would later use as Batman, and one of the episodes of this series was titled Smallville, where Bruce met a young Clark Kent. Warner Brothers loved the idea of that episode in particular so much that that's what got them to greenlight a Smallville series. And the reason why they didn't go anywhere else with the Batman series is because, again, it was incredibly dark, incredibly gruesome, and late 90s, early 2000s, that was not going to happen. There was no way they were going to allow anything like that to go on to TV. The FCC wouldn't have even allowed it.
Well, thank God, because then we got Batman Begins, which really is an excellent film. I am glad that Nolan had it and not, something on CW. Even though Smallville was really good, they've had too many bad shows after that for me to ever trust them again.
But yeah, I wasn't sure if let's see, here it says
McCandless is how you say that guy's name. Is what you
Oh, McCandless. Okay, thank you. I did not know how to say his last name, and yeah, I wasn't sure. Of course, you would know that story, Dave. I wasn't sure though if you did. I was gonna like, oh my God, this is such a cool fact. I did not know that, and I've never heard you mention it before.
It's good that I'm not the one bringing up Rick and Morty and Smallville anymore. It's you guys.
Well,
Can I say somebody save me?
But, yeah, I don't know.
I don't even know what time you had to stop, by the way, Keith. I don't know how long you've been doing it, but I don't know how long you've got either.
You guys have been talking so much, it could have been 5 minutes already. I don't know. I forgot to look.
I forgot to look, too.
Absolutely. Sound like you had a dry throat.
But I'm just happy that we got Smallville, because otherwise Dave would not have a favorite show. He would probably be like, you know what we need? We need a show about Michael Morbius before he became the living vampire.
I knew he was going that way.
He could be in high school and be all crutching around and being all Michael Morbius-y. And next thing you know, at the last episode, he starts sucking people's blood. It would be awesome.
Brilliant.
And it would smell like ketchup and salt. That just came to me. I don't know where I got that from.
I don't know why. That's funny.
Now you sound like Tavian. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, but I laughed after, and he wouldn't.
That's true.
He would just say that's funny.
I still remember I told him one time, I go, one of these days, I'm going to say something so you laugh and not just say, oh, that's funny. And he goes, that's funny. I'm like, damn you.
Well, do we have any more critiques of Black Adam?
I only have one more critique.
Let's do it. Let's hear it.
So, and I mentioned this, I think, briefly during our at the theater review, but I'm sure all of our fans know that my memory is garbage, and so like I don't fully remember what the heck I said. But one of the things that that alternate Keith brought up to me, he didn't know who Dr. Fate was. And he said, oh yeah, I didn't really recognize that character. I didn't know who he was or what his deal was. One of the things that, A, I don't think they should have killed him off. B, I think they should have spent more time with him so you could actually get to know who this character was a bit more, because he's a very interesting character. And as far as I know, isn't this kind of their first real introduction of magic in the DC universe, or...
Well, Shazam, I guess, because...
Yeah, okay, technically Shazam, yeah.
In the movies, yeah. I mean, if you're going back to Smallville, all these people were on there.
Yeah.
Well, and the reason I think they killed Dr. Fate is because anyone who wears the helmet can become Dr. Fate, and Naboo
You
controls...
sure about that? Because that's what I was going to get to next. They didn't really follow those rules.
No, they didn't. Well, as long as you don't put the helmet on, you can do certain things.
Yeah, nobody put it
They
on.
took it off.
No, I know.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
But trust me,
But
the point is he can die, and someone will get the helmet next. The helmet, it's like, the power ring. It'll choose somebody, because we've seen in Young Justice, it went from
Young Justice
Zatanna's...
does it really well.
Yeah, absolutely. Went from Zatanna's father to him.
absolutely.
Absolutely. But once again, anyone who didn't know Dr. Fate and saw this movie would have no clue what he's about at all, and probably think he's a Doctor Strange ripoff.
That's what it kind of came off as, which was sad because Doctor Fate is not a ripoff of Doctor Strange, but it kind of came off that way with the dimensions he created looked like the mirror dimension, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, don't do that. Come on. This guy is not Doctor Strange.
I had those exact same thoughts when I saw
he was doing it. They mentioned that it came from another planet, and I'm like, I don't know if that's really accurate.
No, it did. It was created by, well, maybe not another planet, but it was created by the Fates.
Yeah. I would say
Fates of Order or whatever they're called.
Semantics for me, though. I guess
when you take off,
shouldn't be that nitpicky.
When you take it off, you go insane. That's what the story is. But he didn't go insane when he took the helmet off.
No, I'm actually surprised. I assume maybe this was Pierce Brosnan, like, hey, look, you got to be able to see my face. I'm an actor. I need to express myself. But I was really hoping that they would do it like the Judge Dredd style, where the helmet stayed on the entire thing. Because I think the best part of Naboo is the fact that he puts his mission to keep order above, like, everything else. He's almost in line with Black Adam in a way, but I feel like he would, if they would have stuck to the comic book version of Naboo, he would have tried to supersede his version of order over Black Adam, and I think it would have been more interesting.
The best part of Naboo is that it doesn't have any sand.
That's true. Dun-dun-dun.
You got it.
Oh no, I got it. I'm just not giving you the benefit of the laugh.
Pesky, use your back.
Well, you're 2 behind on the absolutes, by the way.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, we said it twice there.
I took a sip as you said the last absolutely, but I will take 2 more sips if you make it happen. All right.
Yeah, go ahead, do it. There you go. Oh, I was wondering why we can't hear Keith. He's on mute.
He is on mute. You know what? Before we move on to another topic from Black Adam, what we ought to do is rehash like what our ratings were and get. Yes, Keith.
Hey, before we do our ratings, I just wanted to say with Dr. Fate, different people who have the helmet have different relationships with Naboo. So this Dr. Fate taking off the helmet all the time was probably because he was more in line with Naboo. And so he let him. Sometimes Naboo will be like, nope, you ain't taking the helmet off. I am full control. I can't let you control because I don't trust what you're going to do. And we did see that in the comic, that for those of you playing the home game, go to our YouTube channel, get in tonight because we're probably giving it away tomorrow or spinning the wheel to get the winner tomorrow. Naboo takes over because he is exactly like Doug said. Black Adam's right. He's bringing order to Kanadok. He's doing the right thing, and he actually kind of switched teams from the JSA to Black Rain. And it was, if they would have talked more about that and just given Dr. Fate any backstory, which they still can, they can have a Dr. Fate movie and get a new person and explain it all then. But they were so.
I'd love to see that.
I thought it was kind of a misuse of the character to have him there, not explain anything about him, how it works or anything else. He did, like Dave said, his magic looked like the mirror dimension.
Yep.
Everyone who doesn't know the history of Dr. Fate or anything else about this character is just going to be like, oh, DC stealing Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
But yes, let's do our ratings. I know Dave and Doug did theirs on Thursday, so if you guys want me to go first, I certainly can.
Sure, if you'd like to.
Or I can go last, whatever you guys want. But basically,
Dave, do you want us to? Is your rating still the same? Do you think?
Yeah, 5.5 is solid.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm still at a 6.5. Like I said, I think it was just slightly above average. It had its issues, but it wasn't. It was certainly fine. It was okay. It was definitely a movie, and it was better than Morbius.
It was definitely better than Morbius. It was an enjoyable movie. Like, even though there were some problems with it, like some of the characters being a little too flat, not really having any backstory that they could have talked about because we know it's there. We did get a little between Cyclone and Atom Smasher. We did have some crumbs laid out for the future, post-credit scene was, pretty fantastic. I really enjoyed seeing Henry Cavill and that music. But I mean, overall, as movies goes, this was just a little above average. And I'm actually going to fall right between Dave and Doug. I'm going to give it a 6.0.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I know Keith 838 gave it a 9, but I don't think this movie warrants a 9. They could have done a lot better. This movie could have been the Iron Man of the DCEU if they just would have splashed a little less action and a little more, characters.
Story.
Yep.
Dave, I think we're ruining him.
Yeah.
No, don't worry.
Obviously, your silver lining is the Henry Cavill scene, right? That's
Well,
the silver lining.
The silver lining is also the breadcrumbs between Adam Smasher and Black Adam, in the fact that it sounds like, they're sticking more to comic book lore. They're changing a few things, but at least they had the JSA in Black Adam and not try to shoehorn in the Justice League. So I'm actually confident that the people in charge might be making better decisions now for the DCEU moving forward.
Now, I have one last question. We had asked this for the part of the comments for the giveaway. Do you think this film has saved the DCEU?
No.
I think it just makes it more confusing. If they're going to erase everything that came before this, then but they even couldn't do that because they had Harcourt in there. So, that would not only tie it to, because she was in the Suicide Squad, right? So
Yep.
that would even tie it all the way back to that. So this couldn't be the beginning. So I don't know if it saves it. I think a reboot is still in order.
Well, and I think we still got the Flash coming up. So if they do use Flashpoint in this movie to do a soft reboot over the DCEU, they can keep, they better keep Peacemaker. They better keep, Black Adam, Shazam. Sounds like Henry Cavill. Even though it has not been confirmed, it sounds like they're working on a 3-picture deal to bring him back. And the latest rumor is that DC, I think we were talking about it a couple weeks, they want to move forward with their big guns. They want to have Wonder Woman movies, Batman movies, Superman movies, and they don't want to do, some of the lesser knowns like, Batgirl. That's why one of the reasons it got canceled, they were like, we need to move forward with, the big guns.
Well, that's how Marvel did it. You start with the big guns. I guess Iron Man wasn't a big gun to begin with, but he became one.
Yeah.
That is true. I wonder if they expected that.
But now, you know what? We might as well, hold on. Let's go back into tangent time for one.
We did it again. Why do we always do this?
It's just what we
I
do.
only want to go back into tangent time for one thing because there was a report. A lot of James Gunn. One of the things I'm going to be talking about, our MCU tidbit later, is about a James Gunn thing. But there was a talking this week that James Gunn is working with Warner Brothers on a secret DC movie.
Yep.
That might.
And it is not a follow-up to Suicide Squad, according to this one rumor. And I was thinking, what could he do that would be really good? And there's a few, like Secret Six. Gail Simone's run on Secret Six was really good and kind of fits into his sort of niche. Some people on Twitter were like, Superman. I'm like, James Gunn has already turned down Superman. He does not want to do Superman,
He
Batman,
did
Wonder Woman.
Brightburn.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do that. He wants the stranger characters, maybe the goofy side of it. And I honestly think there's two choices that I had in my head. He's either going to do a Plastic Man movie,
That'd be great.
or he's going to do like Booster Gold, Blue Beetle and Booster Gold.
Oh, that would be good for him.
That would be a real good fit for him. Oh God, definitely Booster Gold. I could totally see that.
Nathan Fillion
Especially
could play
if,
Booster
if
Gold,
they-
and it would be awesome.
Especially if he's like extra, like, smarmy and greedy and shit in the beginning. Oh, chef's kiss. That would be great.
I hope that's what it is. It would be great.
Boy, who would make a good Booster Gold though? I wonder. Who'd be
Nathan
good at it?
Fillion.
You think Nathan
Oh
Fillion?
yeah, he would. Nathan Fillion would be awesome.
He could. I don't know. I almost wonder if
Rosenbaum.
Michael Rosenbaum would be good.
He would be
he'd
good.
be really good. Oh, that's good.
And him and Gunn are friends. Well, him and Nathan Fillion and Gunn are friends too. So
Now, is Rosenbaum be able to take some time out of his busy podcasting schedule to do a movie role?
he doesn't just do Talkville. He does
Inside of You.
Inside of You. Yeah, so he does 2 every day, or 2 a week.
Yeah, I've caught a couple. He's good. He's a really good podcaster. He really knows his stuff. He's really interesting. So I would, man, that is a great call, Dave. I would, because Nathan Fillion's kind of getting up in years.
That's what
so they
I'd be
might want to
concerned
cast
about.
a younger person. Even how old is Michael Rosenbaum now?
He's our age. He's 51.
Is he seriously? God, he looks so young.
Just like us.
You gentlemen look so young too. You're just, that's what I meant to say.
Hey, we know the rule on this. No lying, Doug.
Okay, Dave looks very young.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I saw a
only 'cause
picture
I
of
shaved
you.
my head.
Saw a picture of you on Facebook with your band, and it looked like you had a wig on or something.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
No, that was his real
very
hair.
old in that picture.
He wears
He grew it out for that night, and then
he
shaved
wears a
it.
bald cap for this, and then he
Yeah.
goes to.
Want to see? And when I saw that picture, I thought, "Oh my God, I'm never not shaving again," because that looks. I look old. What
Sorry,
did I say?
Sierra just put it was a wig made out of his back hair.
Oh, God.
Oh my God, that's so not necessary.
Dave,
Right.
you've got some long back hair.
Right.
No, what I got is a savage daughter. That's mean.
You know what? We oughta create an Infinity Stone level for that. Is cash in Infinity Stones to have Sierra insult one of us.
Oh, hey, there we go. Can't be too mean though. Well, hey, should we move on?
Black Adam. Yeah, let's go move on to Andor.
Oh, I'm ready for that.
Okay, let's do Andor. I was keying up House of the Dragon, but you know what? No one's on who's going to be watching it, I don't think, anymore. So we will do Andor. Unless I got this keyed up right. Boom.
Yeah, what time does a HOTD start?
9 minutes, yes.
9 minutes. Wow. All right. So, Andor.
Post heist.
What'd you say?
Guys.
What'd you call me?
Guys, I loved this episode. I heard somebody last night. I've been trying to preach about the good news of Andor. I've been putting on my priestly clothing and my Jedi robes and saying the Force be with you. And by the way, I need you to watch Andor. And I heard somebody utter the most sacrilegious, evil words. They said, "I don't know. The first episode was kind of boring." So clearly, I had to, time the
Are they
stake
used
instead of
to
my
the
fight.
garbage that they've gotten used to this other garbage that's coming out, and they're like, when a quality product comes out, I'm not saying all Star Wars, but I'm just saying like these shows, and when the quality product comes out, they don't recognize it.
Well, something that I was kind of saddened to see over the weekend, or actually towards the end of last week. I didn't know this, but hardly anybody is actually watching Andor. Its viewership is super low. Its viewership is lower than Book of Boba Fett, than The Mandalorian, than Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's lower than all of them.
Yeah.
That's just, the word hasn't spread, I guess. Or they watch those certain channels that are just downers on Star Wars. You know what I
I think
mean?
it's a mix of a couple of things. I think it might be there could be some Star Wars burnout. I think maybe there are some people that they are oversaturated with Star Wars TV shows. Maybe they were disappointed with Obi-Wan. Maybe they were disappointed with Book of Boba Fett. And so they're probably thinking somewhere along, because I'll tell you, when I first heard that Andor was coming out, I didn't care. Didn't give it a second thought. I'm like, that sounds stupid. I don't even care. It wasn't until I had seen that first preview for it and I was like, Oh shit. Okay, actually, that looks kind of good.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm the
all right,
same way.
maybe I'll give
I
it a
wasn't
chance.
expecting much from the show at all.
No,
And then
neither
I
was
saw
I.
the preview and I was like, that could be interesting. And now that
It
we're
looked
watching
shot
it,
well.
it's awesome.
Yes.
And I mean, think about what they did this episode. Most shows, they would move on from this, but this was, they had so much. Cassian was like, okay, I'm done. I can almost go back to my old life. I'm going to go talk to his mother.
I still
Wanted
can't
to
believe
take
it.
her away. And when she said, you can't stay and I can't go,
Mm-hmm.
and I forget what he said, and she's like, that's just love. Like, listen, I got to stay here. In her story, I had to pause it. I was laughing so hard when she said, when I heard about this, I put on my best jacket and walked by that Imperial garrison with just the biggest smile on my face. Like, that to them is like a little bit of freedom. Like, she felt so good that she was able to do her own standing up to this empire just by walking past with a smile on her face. That's something we don't get in Star Wars shows. These just normal people and how they've dealt with it. And then the whole,
Yeah.
90% of shows would have just had Cassian Andor because we know where he ends up. We know where this story ends. Just have him joining the rebellion right away. And they
Yep.
made it so he was so disillusioned by the people that he was working with. The Val didn't want to take the kid to the doctor. Skeen tried to steal all the money, didn't care about it. He just wanted it for himself. And he was so turned off from it that he just wanted to take the money and run and have a good life for himself. Stop caring about it. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, we know what happened in Space Miami.
And I know I
Yeah.
said this last week when we were talking about Andor, but I appreciate that they're giving us a little bit of gray area with the rebels. It's not like, oh, these are the good guys, the Empire's the bad guys, and that's all there is to it. I love they're showing us that, hey, not everybody in the what's going to be the Rebel Alliance are perfect good guys. Like, it's rocky as it's getting to that point.
What's
And
funny?
same,
Oh, go ahead,
same with
Dave.
the Empire. Not everybody in the Empire.
Yes.
You can't look at them as like they're doing things like normal people out here would do. They're just on the wrong side. You know what I mean? They're not
Exactly.
horrible people. They just got like that. Even I felt even sorry for the I don't know what his name was, the old commander guy that realized he was being heisted.
Oh yeah.
But they even with the backstory on his family talking about, hey, we just got to get this transfer to get off this rock. This is what we got to do. That he's not maybe 100% evil. He's just doing what he has to do to get what he wants. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So there's a gray area.
These
You have
people
to
aren't
wonder.
like going, oh, we're working for the Sith Lord, and we just
Right.
love to abuse people. They're like, we want to bring order to this galaxy. We want safety for our people. They're doing it because they think it's the right thing to do, not because there are some bad people, obviously, but they do.
Oh, yeah.
They have done a great job of showing good and bad on both sides, and I laugh because first off, the dinner party with Mon Mothma I thought was great.
Oh,
When she was
perfect.
trying so hard to be subtle with that old friend, like, can I trust him? I don't
By the
really
way,
know.
Ben Miles, awesome actor. Loved him in that role. Keep going, Keith.
Yep. And her, and then finally, because he was like, I don't know if you'll like my politics or whatever. And she starts talking, and she's going, I need this money, kind of telling him enough so that he understands what she's talking about, but keeping it quiet from everybody else and keeping everybody on the outside. She is almost, the goody two shoes of the rebellion. She really wants what's best for people. She was mad that the shipping lanes were going to be closed in that one part. She said nobody cares because they're not getting food or everything. And then that leads into her clash with Rail when she did not know about the heist.
Right.
And he was, he's like, well, you're not getting us the money we need. We got a network. We need money. We need all of this stuff. And while I was watching that scene and just how differently these two people are and seeing how this should go, now that they got that 80 million credits, well, 7,998,000.
Yeah. Whatever dropped off there.
Yeah. But it sounds like he is going to be more teaming up with Saw Gerrera to me.
I was thinking that too.
He seems like the type that he wants results no matter what. And if he's got the money, Saw will take it and do what he needs to do. So I think we're going to see in the next couple episodes finding out that, Mon Mothma is going to have to go kind of off in her own way because her ally, on Coruscant is going to be doing more with people she thinks are a little too rough and not good people, basically. You know, she thinks there's a right way to do this, and the way Saw Gerrera does it is not the right way to do it.
And is it just me, or is the dialogue, again, completely awesome? I mean, they talk about things without talking about them. And they can do that with any character. And as long as you listen, you know what they're talking about, but they're very sly with their word selection. The dialogue is incredible. It's not like, why must you go, Luke? It's, you know, it's very... You know, it's very sly.
It's almost like George Lucas didn't write any of the dialogue.
The one I wrote this one line down because I thought it was so great and just sort of foreshadowing to later in the show when he's with his mom and she goes, "Tell me you understand," and he goes, "I don't." She goes, "You will. You'll see." And I didn't know we would get at this episode where he's basically arrested and, you know, put away for 6 years for just walking down the street, basically. But we know what's going to...
That got under my skin. When I saw that, I'm like, but that's how the Empire was.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how... They got to make him that way to make all the people hate him.
And I love that they're showing that because they've only... If you just watched, you know, the movies or whatever, you'd only know the Empire from, like, the military standpoint. Like, oh, the stormtroopers are flying TIE fighters and they're missing shots and... whatever, you know, obviously we're told the Empire's evil, but, you know, when you actually see the day-to-day and you see that they're also being used as, like, police officers, and they're also shitty cops, too, on top of it, it's like, oh, wow, this is bad. It really drives home that even if the average Imperial officer was not aligned with the Sith and didn't even, whether they even knew what the Sith were, because it seemed like, you know, most of the average people are like, oh yeah, okay, and Jedi, Sith, Force, whatever, it's, you know, we vaguely know that it exists, but whatever. It's not a big deal to us.
Did you know that the word Sith was not even used in the first 3 movies?
I did know that.
It wasn't filmed in the first 3 movies, but it was in the script, because Mark Hamill knew the word, and in his interviews, he mentioned it pretty often. And he referred to Darth Vader as the Sith Lord.
But I just don't think they ever said the actual word.
No, they didn't say it in the movie. But it was in the original scripts.
And can I say that we got a beach scene in Andor, and they played no Pitbull music, so you know that Andor is just
already good. By the way, speaking of that music, oh my God, was that phenomenal! That was good. That stayed playing over and over in my head constantly. I don't know. There was something like sort of. It fit with like the beach scene, but at the same time, it was like sort of industrial and reverby in a way that like made it feel uneasy at the same time.
Oh, you're right. Didn't really think about it too much when I was watching it because I was more focusing on, you know, Cassian, or I can't remember what was his name on that planet? Keef?
Was it Keef?
It was like Keef, I think it was.
Yes, it was.
And,
it's like Keith Karga. Or,
yeah.
What's his name?
Grief Karga?
Grief, yeah, but it's Keith.
But, you know, when he was with that girl and she's like, he's trying to get his credits out of his hidden area, which I'm sure his credits are going to be gone now once he goes to prison.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, just like kind of the interaction where she's like, hey, while you're there, get these things. Are we out of them? He did not seem happy at all. And I wonder if they're going to use that, especially with what's going on to him, to kind of push him back towards Bix. Because I do think he has kind of, I don't want to say like a special relationship, but he has a good relationship with her where they understand each other and they get along. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he's going to find that in anyone else. And obviously, you know, I don't think they're going to get together per se, but I think they're going to have a reconciliation. And I do think Bix is going to join, you know, the rebellion and help out where she can, because she would be an asset to the rebellion.
Now I wonder, I'm so curious, like where this is going to go next with Cassian. Is he, are they going to like, you know, put him into the system? They're going to realize who he is. They're going to end up shipping him off to a different prison. Is he going to somehow escape? Like, is Luthen or somebody going to get him? Or is that woman who was supposed to kill him, because, by the way, we didn't even mention there's a whole assassination plot going on in the background, too. Is she going to try and kill him and get him out of prison in order to kill him? Like, there's so many different things that could happen that it's
We
like
could
this
have a
was the
6-year
ultimate
jump.
cliffhanger.
We cannot
We
have
have
a
a
6-year
6-year
jump.
jump right here.
Nope, because that would
We
put us
can't.
back Rogue
Why not?
One. This takes
What?
place 5 years before Rogue One. So if he was in prison for 6 years, he would be dead a whole year when he got out.
Oh, okay. I didn't know the timeline on how far ahead of Rogue One it was.
So it could be a prison break. He could get in there and start playing, space football with people, telling everyone DTA, don't trust anyone, and then
So Sylvester
Or-
Stallone will be in jail with him.
wow, you got that Sylvester Stallone reference. Wow.
I did.
Really twisted. What if they gave him like a whole join the military and get out of jail deal, and he ended up having to join like the Imperial Navy or something, or the front lines on some planet?
So it'd be like
Fighting one of
Solo,
Yeah.
or Morgan Freeman's in prison with him. And Cassian is really good at taxes and stuff.
I can get you something. It's, they say that I'm the type of person that can get folks things. I really want a poster of, I don't know, some famous Star Wars singer of what is the dude from episode 4? Guy's playing in the cantina. God, what was his name?
Debo.
Rebo Max.
Rebo Mac. I
Rebo
really
Max.
want a poster of Rebo Max.
That's it,
Uh,
folks. We are the incredible nerds that remember the name of the band from A New Hope.
I'll give you bonus points if you remember what type of music they played.
I don't.
Me?
It's called Jizz.
What?
Jesus.
I kid you not.
Not
Look
Wakanda
up.
or something
That
like
is it is jazz without the A. That was how George Lucas described it.
So they don't play A notes?
So, I mean, what would the Ewoks music be called? Save Nub Nub for me?
Oh god.
Nub Nub.
I never liked the Nub Nub song. I am glad that they changed that in the I prefer the new song that they put in there. I actually like it. I don't know, something about I don't like the bad CG that they've got in there to show Naboo and some of these other planets. That needs to be fixed. But the new music I think is much better.
And just
So
so
Doug's no on the Nub Nub.
I am no on the Nub Nub.
Carrie said, this is why I can't watch Star Wars. We're at least on the brink of living it. I got to be part of the resistance and don't like the reminders, LOL. No, this is, training for the resistance because, if the right gets their way.
Wait until all this happens on an interplanetary scale and how much that's going to seem, how hard that's going to be to overcome.
Well, yeah, so, Carrie, one of the things that, I don't know if there's that many people that realize this, but Star Wars, the story behind it, is very much intertwined with politics. That was, George Lucas is pretty clear about that. And his idea going into writing Star Wars was he wanted to sneak protests against the Vietnam War in there. And he felt that the United States was being very imperialistic. And that was what he was trying to say. Now, I think we're short a couple of wizards and laser swords, but...
No, not
Well,
too
you get the
many.
point.
We got laser swords, we got wizards, we got everything here these days.
Oh boy. Oh, that would be a little depressing if they announced that okay, well, we are going to war with, such and such country. By the way, we are giving all of our Marines laser swords. Keith, could you imagine that?
That would be awesome.
Oh my god, so many people would. Oh yeah, lost my hand. I was goofing around with
Listen, maggots, first one of you that cuts one of your squad mates loses their crayons. You won't eat for a week. You got me?
Careful with that. You'll poke an eye out.
Oh, she did know that. All right. Yeah, so Carrie says, I appreciate it, but I prefer some superheroes and mutants fighting the battles. Okay, fair point. Yeah,
All right,
it can get.
I'm gonna take some Compound V, and I'll go fight these battles.
Oh, no, don't do that.
What would your superpower be, Dave, if you took Compound V?
Super bladder. I can just pee all over everybody.
Oh, I thought you were
That
gonna say
would fit
you,
in with the boys.
you wouldn't have to pee for weeks.
And then when you do,
So when yeah. Well, I'm not
No.
a superhero. I wasn't in the armed forces. Just these guys.
Yeah, not a superhero at all.
nope. I just played on computers.
Yeah, I've always wanted to be a superhero growing up, reading the comics and everything else. I was always like, oh man, why couldn't I, have this awful thing happen to me and give me superpowers? I wasn't very
Right.
bright. I'm like, hey,
Why couldn't a truck crash into a wall and spill toxic goo on me?
there's a radioactive truck. I wonder if I jumped in front of it, if I could be the next Daredevil. Keith,
Right.
stop. You're just
I
going
don't
to
know.
die.
I came to this planet in a little egg that taught me everything I needed to know on the way here.
My luck, I would get toxic chemicals spilled on me, and in my comatose state, I would be imagining that I'm a superhero, but then they would, shoot back to, I'm in the hospital. Yes, we don't think he's going to make it, but he does have a smile on his face, so at least he'll die happy.
He seems so
you could
happy.
wake up in the Matrix. You could wake up with that tube down
Right, yeah, I'll be in the Matrix thinking I'm a superhero. And instead I'm horribly mutated with, now an arm growing out of my head.
You're like, put me back under. Put me back. Put me back.
I miss the taste of steak.
Okay.
I used to be pissed at that guy in the Matrix, but then I tasted a good steak, and I'm like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I get it, bro. It's just
Okay.
gonna erase my memory, and I'm gonna go back to eating steak. I get it, man. If that's all you knew was the Matrix, and then you came out and you saw what Keanu Reeves saw,
Yep.
I would be like, all right, put me back. I don't care. I don't know what I'm gonna do out here.
Here's your gray robes, and here's your oatmeal. Oh, no, put me back in.
Yeah, I'm okay with what was going on.
Right. No, I'm good. The robots can use me as a battery. That's fine.
Fine with me, as long as I'm having fun.
Keith,
Yes.
did you know that was the original idea behind the Sonic the Hedgehog story?
The Matrix?
The Matrix.
The Matrix, sort of. The idea was all the animals that were in the robots were batteries.
Oh, wow. I did not
Yeah.
know that.
Yes, that was the original story. So when Sonic is jumping on the robots and freeing them, he's actually breaking them out. They're organic batteries for the robot. And they had written down in the original Sonic the Hedgehog Bible, they had written down this backstory, and they're like, we cannot publish this. The kids cannot know about this. It's way too dark. But secretly, all the creators behind Sonic the Hedgehog, oh right, man, way past cool, too rude, and they're like, also, Dr. Robotnik is psychotically evil, and he's shoving animals as organic batteries into robots. Knowing that, just knowing that, in the background of this kid's fun little, adventure video game.
Yeah, Carrie's right. When you beat Robotnik, the animals all run away. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. That was
Well, yeah,
torture.
and then I guess the capsule thing that they're all in, that you jump on at the very end, they all break out of. Yeah, that's animals that he just hasn't put into robot bodies yet.
Wow, that is dark.
Yeah. Make sure you tell it to Sully.
But before we move on to House of the Dragon, Doug kind of hinted at it a little bit. What's next? I mean, this can go so many ways. Any thoughts, theories, questions? Because we know he can't serve his full 6-year term.
No, there's no way they're going to have time for that.
I guess not. Yeah, I guess I was off. I thought there was going to be a time jump. There probably still will be a time jump, I would imagine.
Maybe a
While
year or
he's in
something.
jail, but I guess he doesn't serve his full sentence, obviously.
I just
Well-
wonder if it's something like Doug said, that Val breaks him out to try to kill him.
Or Bill
Or-
Burr does.
Oh yes, Bill. That would be awesome. That'd be great. A Bill Burr cameo in
Now,
this as a
is he
stormtrooper.
still part of the Imperial military at this point?
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's 5 years before. It's like basically 10 years before the Mandalorian.
Now, was he captured by the New Republic? And that's what he was
No.
in. Oh, okay. So I remember he was part of like the Mandalorians, like one of his heist groups from the past. But I was wondering, like, if
No,
at
I
some
don't think
point
he
had
didn't
been
know the
captured.
Mandalorian. He was new to that group.
That's
and
right.
didn't know
oh
the
my gosh, all
Mandalorian.
the other people were.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. Boy, it's been a minute since I saw that.
time to rewatch.
It
Just
is?
rewatch it before the new series comes out. It's February, so you got time.
Oh, it's too far away.
It's 4 months.
But,
It's too far away.
So
It's too
I'll-
far away.
it is too far away. I'll restate my
Galaxy.
theories, and if you guys want to piggyback off them, or if you want to, reel me in, Dave, that's perfectly fine. My theories are you ready to apply a silver lining?
Always.
Okay. All right. Oh, geez. Oh, God, I'm already hooked.
I'm ready.
Anyway.
I'm getting ready. I'm going to throw the line.
I think it's going to be one of these three things. I think either he is going to go to prison and he's going to somehow break out, escape. Maybe it'll be like a thing like they did in Miss Marvel, where he just happens to take advantage of a guard or something. That's theory A. Theory B, he goes to prison and they offer him a deal and say, hey, you don't necessarily have to serve your prison sentence if you join the Imperial Army and you serve on the front lines. That's theory B. And finally, theory C, which I think is probably the closest one. I think this is probably more likely to happen, because I don't think they would have brought up this whole assassination thing otherwise. I think they're going to send what's-her-name after him. They're going to figure out where he is, because somehow his name is going to get back into the system. His face is going to trigger something. They're going to figure out where he is. I think they're going to send somebody out there to kill him, so that way he doesn't, reveal anything about the resistance.
Yeah, because that's why they want him dead, is because he knows about real. He has conversation and a ride with him. I think the only other thing that could possibly be true, because I agree, I think the Val thing is the most. They wouldn't have brought up that assassination attempt without it going somewhere later in the show. Now, it may not be with the prison break. It could be even later than that. But I was thinking, okay, what could they do that I would never expect? Because they do a pretty good job of doing that on the show. What if he just gets off early for good behavior? Like, he just goes there, puts his head down and says, I don't want any trouble. I'll just do whatever you tell me. And then eventually, like, you know what? He's not a bad prisoner. We'll let you out early or something. And then that's where Val shows up or someone shows up and tries to kill him, and that's what brings him back in. But, I mean, this show does a really good job of subverting expectations. You think something's going to happen, and it just goes somewhere else. And that's what's so great about it.
I know that Val, she accepted the order, but she didn't look too thrilled about it. I don't think. Remember how she hesitated in the last episode during the heist, whether at the last second whether to do it or not. I think she'll have the same hesitation if she runs into Andor again, and that's going to save his life. That's what she's not going to be able to do it.
Possibly. I don't know, because I think they're, depending on how much you believe in the idea of the rebellion, because we did, if you remember, in Rogue One, like, it took me by surprise, but Cassian ended up killing that informant in order to make sure that the stormtroopers or whatever that were after him wouldn't end up like catching him, torturing him, and everything like that. So I have to think that there's probably a certain number of these folks that are part of the rebels that would be like, yeah, for the cause, I would have to kill this person. And
Well,
that's definitely, I think
one
that's
of them,
definitely something that Saw would probably believe in. Possibly
That's what I'm
believe in.
saying. I don't think she would have it in her if she
No.
ran in. Val herself, yeah, I don't think she could do it.
Well, do you think that could lead into maybe Val siding up with, if we do see a split and we see Reels kind of side with Saw Gerrera, maybe Val kind of sides with Mon Mothma, like, I think this is the right way to go.
Like some
And
infighting.
Yeah, and distance herself. And maybe she brings up to Mon Mothma, hey, there's a guy who helped us with this heist. He really would be good part of the rebellion. We should try to get him. and maybe there's a, race against time to get Cassian first.
Did when Ahsoka finally decided to become part of the rebellion, was she always with the Mon Mothma side, or was she more of a free agent, kind of working with both groups?
I think she was kind of more with Mon Mothma's side, but I don't think that's ever. I've never read the Ahsoka book. I don't think it was ever really detailed in Rebels or anywhere else. We just know she was kind of working with, as a. What was
She
her
was putting
call
a team
sign?
together. She was on a mission from God.
The Blues Brothers.
There we go.
That was a perfect accent too. Jeez.
Well, he's from Chicago, so.
Well, while we're talking about races against time to find somebody, let's talk House of the Dragon.
Okie doke.
It was a slower episode. I was
Okie doke.
I was pretty shocked by the 9th episode of a season of Game of Thrones not being absolutely bonkers, but I do think the bonkers is going to start this week. Well, it probably started about 20 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, there was a lot here. It was, we saw them searching for Aegon all over the city. The Queen was looking for him. The Hand was looking for him, and they both had different ideas with what they would do when they caught him. Because there's two things that happened in this episode that made me think of the old line from Cersei in Game of Thrones. In the Game of Thrones, you win or you die.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Allison...
Yeah, they did. They alluded to that.
I think Allison made a big mistake in saying, I don't want to kill my childhood friend. My husband would not want this to happen to his daughter. He wouldn't, absolutely not. But at this point, they're both so sure. It's so funny because I see both sides of their argument. We got, Princess, let's call her Rhaena, Princess Rihanna. Princess
Not Rihanna. It's
no,
Rhaenyra.
what? Rhaenyra, yeah. Princess, she is like, my father came down when he could barely walk to show show his support for me being the heir. And Alicent also is like, oh my God, on his deathbed, he basically told me that our son is the prince that was promised.
That's a problem with the Targaryens using the same names. Obviously, there's going to be some confusion. That is not who he was talking about.
And that's what I thought was kind of nice. They're setting them both up to fully believe that they are doing the right thing. It's not something silly like she's just like, I just want my son to be king. She thinks this is going to save the realm, and I can see where they made both sides of this argument understandable.
And even though her son wants nothing to do with it, like he was ready to step down. He's like, yeah, I'll take off, I'll get on a ship, I'll go to another country. I do not want to be king. I just want to, And they kind of mentioned that he's been doing this, and we don't even know how many kids he's got out there.
Did you see? Was he having kids?
Like Herschel Walker.
Was he having kids to put in that fighting pit?
Yeah, I think so.
That when they showed the one kid,
well, I think that might have been one of the things that he was doing. Yeah.
Yeah, among others, I was like, "Holy cow!" That the two things that I was like, the kid fighting pit where they sharpen their teeth and fingernails to fight.
Yep.
To the death, basically.
Messed up.
And yeah, Aegon likes to watch. Yeah. It was very brutal. And then the feet scene.
That was so gross.
I was like, oh my God. I did not need to see that. Yes, it made me question all of us for watching it too, Gary.
I mean...
And definitely George R. R. Martin.
It's so in line with Game of Thrones that it was like, yeah, of course it's going to be like a friggin' creepy weirdo. Sure.
And it just, made Aemon look so much more, when he was talking and he's saying, I've read the histories, I've done the training, I've done all this. And he's like, yeah, life ain't fair, dude, sorry.
Yep.
And you see Aegon, who's just complete, schmuck.
Around.
Yeah,
he doesn't give a shit.
He is just would make a terrible leader and will.
Oh,
And the
oh,
worst
yeah.
part about the whole episode is when he got in front and people were chanting, and he had the the crown of the conqueror and the sword of the conqueror, and he's just like, he was getting into it like, yes, he is going to be an absolutely terrible.
He's going to
kid.
be a Joffrey, if not
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah. Oh, without question. When I saw him getting into it, I was like, oh, that's not good.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, overall, even though this episode was slower, it was building towards a lot of things. And I think as much as maybe this could have been half an episode and I could have got through it all, the one thing that I absolutely loved was when the other princess, the queen who never was.
Oh,
like,
God, I forgot her name, but yes.
Is it Rhaena? I think it's Princess Rhaena or something along those lines. They have too many names that are too
Sounds
close.
so much alike.
I know. But when she came out of the floor with her dragon.
That was... I appreciated it. A lot of people were so upset. Why didn't she care? It's just like, so the show can happen. Obviously, that's why she didn't.
Why didn't... Oh,
from
well,
a writing standpoint, from a plot standpoint, from a character standpoint, because she even said this earlier on in the show, she doesn't believe in these big shows of violence.
Yep. And I mean, the biggest thing that I got out of that, well, one, she also, in Game of Thrones, you win or you die. I think this set her up that unfortunately she's not going to live possibly through this season.
Probably not.
Or early on, but she did the right thing in her mind.
Yes.
But,
yes, Carrie. She could have ended it, and the internet lost it over that. They all said the same thing you did.
But of course, Doug's right. It wouldn't have, wouldn't have continued for the second season. But Aegon's wife,
Aegon's
who
sister
kept
wife?
saying, yeah, he married his sister. That's Allison's daughter that he's married to. That was talking about the beast beneath the boards.
Oh God, that's so gross.
She can see the future. She knew this was going to happen. Did you see her look when the dragon popped up out of the floor? Once again, none of them cared about all these innocents that were killed because, people of the kingdom are just basically fodder to them. But she was like she knew this was coming. And the one thing I thought about while she was looking at it, and her mom knows about her talking about the beast beneath the boards. I think Allison or someone is going to figure out that girl sees the future. That's why she's so weird. That's why she has these issues. She saw this happening. Didn't tell him. Well, tried to tell people. Just she's not the most adept socially. So she was just like, yeah, the beast beneath the boards, and they were all like, okay, I have another, And then when this happened, I think someone's going to figure it out, and they are going to use her in the fight against Princess Rhaenyra and Daemon and all that, because she's going to know things that are coming.
Why is it that the people who can see into the future, like Bran and like her, why are they the most socially awkward in the series?
I think
why can't you have a confident future teller?
I think because they're seeing the future and the past and the present. They don't really know where they're at. They don't know how to be. They don't know if they're interacting with someone alive right now or someone from the past. So, I mean, she's probably just like, space cadet, because at times, people are talking to her and she's seeing something in the future.
Friggin' Dr. Manhattan over here.
Yeah, exactly.
In 5 seconds, you'll tell me that you want to leave me. Wait, so am I? In 5 seconds, you will.
I really want to leave
so
you.
hold on, are we getting a divorce or what?
Oh, bet it's the creepy guy. That guy I think is going to play a pretty big part, because at the end we saw him burn out the White Worm's house. He wants all the little birds to be telling him the secrets. He doesn't want anyone else, because that is such power there. Now I'm hoping, I had a thought when I saw the place burning that was all for show. And he is basically going to start working with the White Worm to bring both of their sort of secret little groups together.
Operations or whatever.
Yeah, kind of bring them together and share information because they're going to have more, and I think that is going to strengthen. I'll just call him Creepy Guy because I can't think of his name right now
I can't
either.
remember it either. Everybody keeps calling him like the proto Littlefinger.
Yeah, he very much is, but I'm not sold that the White Worm is dead. I think he burned that down as a show towards Alicent and the Hand, and he's like. By the way, I saw a great meme that I sent to you guys, and I think he sent it to Sierra, where it's the Drake one where it's like the hand of the king, and he's like the feet of the queen.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's so creepy, so gross.
But I think that between Creepy Guy and his spy network, and Allison's daughter, who is definitely a seer of some type, seeing the future, those are going to be the two secret weapons they have against Daemon and Princess Rhaenyra. Because you know what they're going to do. We have dragons. We don't need to be subtle. You know, they're going to come by and want to just destroy everything in sight. And they're going to have this advantage that they don't know about. And that's always, it reminded me at some point when they figure out, it's like in Civil War when Ant-Man grows big and Iron Man's like, is there anyone on our side that has a secret power that nobody knows about? Because they're going to need it, because being able to see the future is going to be huge in this coming battle. Huge, I tell you.
Now, I wonder, because I haven't really heard anybody mention it yet in this series, but at this point in the timeline, is Winterfell a part of these kingdoms? Or does that not happen until like later on? Like they have conquered it.
They have conquered it.
I remember in Game of Thrones they mentioned that a Stark has always been in charge of Winterfell, so I assume one of them is up there now.
Yeah, they mentioned a Stark in one of the episodes.
Oh, okay, I didn't.
And it is the Seven Kingdoms, so Winterfell does bend the knee towards King's Landing.
Okay.
But they just, not too big a part of the story. I'm looking forward to tonight. I think it's going to we're going to see, when does the new Stark show take place? I do believe.
That's supposed to take place after Game of Thrones. It's supposed to be a sequel series.
Next Tuesday. That's when it happens. Next Tuesday.
It's going to be great.
Oh, God. If they threw something together that quick, it'd be garbage. No. Don't believe Dave.
Oh, no, she was talking. No, it's not a prequel. Okay. It does take place post Game of Thrones.
Which I think that's for the best, because I think, most people who watched that, those last couple of episodes, I think quite a few people were disappointed that, if you're trying to have Jon Snow follow the hero's journey, that just puts him right back to where he started. That's not really a good conclusion for his character. Oh, okay, well, he's back to the wall with all the people that tried to kill him. Cool.
Well, it won't be just Jon Snow, I'm sure. May not be any other Starks or anyone from the Game of Thrones show, but, there'll be other characters and stuff. Was it you telling me, Doug, or someone else, that he's going to travel north of the wall?
Yeah, that was in the premise of what they said that they wanted to do. They're going to have him travel north of the wall. So I think it would be interesting to have him do something other than just being part of the Night's Watch again. Have him this is stupid. I'm going to go be an explorer or some shit, or I don't know.
Yeah. Go see what's up there.
Yeah.
Yes, 12 inches of snow. Informa.
I knew I could get you to say it if I just typed it in there.
But, I honestly think, I was trying to think who's going to die in tonight's episode.
I don't know.
And
do you think they're going to have a huge, giant finale and they're going to have somebody killed off, or do you think they're going to play it a little slower?
I think it's going to start off a little slow, but I think it's going to escalate quickly. And it is going to be, I think Daemon and Princess darn it, Princess. I want to call her Rihanna, Reina, Princess. What's her name?
Renair?
Rainier. Yeah, I think they're going to think we're going to go in there and just wipe them out, and they're going to be met with some resistance, and so they're going to have to go back to Dragonstone and plan out. But I think there's going to be a pretty big battle tonight, and I think they're going to be surprised at how good the resistance is from Alicent and the Greens, because this is
I
called.
wonder how many dragons will die, if any.
That's a good question. We know Aegon's won't, or we know Aemon's won't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, should be good. I am looking forward. I don't think I'll be able to watch it tonight, but I am looking forward to seeing
I
it.
don't think so either. But don't worry, Carrie, I will definitely watch it. It's not going to be like last time. I'll make sure I'll make it a priority. I'll get it in.
By the way, talking about waiting for something, the next Rick and Morty airs November 20th.
Yep.
Which is not as long as a wait as I thought.
No, I think you're right, Sierra. I think Alicent will live. I don't think she will die until season 2 or maybe later, depending on how many seasons they do. But yeah, I think we're going to see. Oh, Thinks will take the throne tonight. Oh, that's a good. I didn't think about that. I think you're right. I bet she does.
What's her name?
Rhaenyra, Princess Rhaenyra. I think she'll. That's awesome, Sierra. I didn't even think about that. She'll take the throne, and then Alicent and in the book she sits on the throne for 1.5 years at least.
Oh.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, she's probably got some.
I didn't know that. I haven't
sores.
read the book.
She never gets up. She's probably got some sores on her butt. You only adjust so many different ways.
Oh, nope, not happening.
So that means they
Maybe
may.
until next June.
That means her and Daemon may win tonight. She takes over the crown, and then the High Towers and all of them scurry away to
run off somewhere.
and plan their revenge. So, oh wow, okay, that's
And
good.
they go on Police Academy.
But like, where would they hide out at? Like, who? Oh, that's
Dorne.
interesting. Like, who's really like? What sort of castle-like structure could they possibly hide at? Like, who's on their side?
Oh, Carrie's in commercials.
Oh, I just got Ryan Seacrest in missing reveal. Huh.
Let us know when you're back, Miss Carrie.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently,
Yeah.
Sierra's still there.
Yep.
So I saw Carrie on Tuesday, and I totally forgot to help her out with figuring out how to set up the subscription. But while she's here, congratulations are in order for Carrie. For those that don't know, we volunteer in the same organization together, and she recently got elected to the board. So that's a congrats to Carrie for that.
Congratulations, Miss Carrie. Well deserved. That's awesome.
Yes,
They attempted to write
congratulations.
my name into the ballots, but I wasn't having that.
But I don't think she heard that. She's on commercials.
Still on commercial. It must be a long one. Make that Twitch money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we got a new
while
subscriber
we're waiting
tonight.
for Carrie to come back, how many subscribers are we at on YouTube?
722.
722. All right. Is
Carrie's back.
what's that?
Carrie's back.
Oh, good. Yes. So we're at 722 YouTube subscribers. I want everybody to know that we need your help. Make sure that you share this stuff with your friends. Go to our YouTube channel if you don't already. If you watch us only on Twitch, you were unaware that we had a YouTube channel. Find it, subscribe to it, head over there. You're gonna find not only our Twitch streams, but a bunch of our other types of videos where we do our at the theater reviews, we do our in focuses, our what's next is our theory paloozas, all sorts of bunch of other videos. Head over there, make sure you subscribe, share it with your friends. Help us get up to 1,000. That is our goal by the end of this year. We want to get to 1,000 subs. We need
Which
your help.
basically means the YouTube partner program. So
Yes.
we're definitely trying to get there. We're doing everything we can, but we do need your help. Now back to House of the
Welcome back,
Dragon.
Harry.
Just so you know, Carrie, Doug told us that you were elected to the board. Congratulations. Very well deserved.
Yes, congratulations.
Now I'm trying to remember. Sarah said, so whenever they win, I believe they would stay there and round up their allies. They were talking about allies to the Hightowers in the last episode, and I can't remember, was the Lannisters one of them? Could we see Cassidy Rock show up tonight? I can't remember who else it was. Maybe it was Highgarden.
It's probably Highgarden. I have to imagine the Lannisters are probably sided with the Targaryens, because it seems like, at least it was implied in Game of Thrones, that the Lannisters were serving the Targaryens up until, Jaime stabbed the king in the back.
Oh, and Sierra says Lannister is not one of them. Okay. I was trying to remember. I couldn't remember. So that'll be interesting. It sounds like Princess Rhaenyra will be back on the throne, take it while they're gone, and prepare for battle. And unfortunately, we know how she passes. Much like Boba Fett. I wonder if she gets pooped out of the other side of the dragon. Comes back to life.
She's undigestible.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
She got a protective coating. She's like a piece of corn.
What about
a big lump with knobs? It has the juice. It has the juice.
What's his demise in the books? Who's Damien again?
Prince Daemon, Matt Smith.
Ah.
Yeah, we'll have to wait for Sierra on that. I didn't read the books. I sometimes catch little tidbits about what happens in them.
I can tell you this. By the time Game of Thrones rolls around, they're all dead.
It's true. It's a good point.
So, he will eventually die. I just don't know how or when. But he will die.
You mean none of them are elves?
None of them are elves.
Nope.
Oh, Sierra answered.
Aemon kills him.
Oh, no kidding. Wow. All right.
They always had that sort of standoff sort of look whenever they're facing each other. Nice double. Yes, exactly. Ooh, and an epic dragon.
He did look just like him. Oh, it's kind of creepy the way that he, when he was standing there during the coronation. Oh, it was like, oh my god, he's giving off Matt Smith vibes.
Well, anyway, I wonder if that happens tonight. No, probably not. Because if they get the crown while they're out, it's probably not going to be any epic dragon fights. Well, I guess there could be. It'll be interesting to see. But man, I just honestly,
an epic dragon fight. Ooh. Oh, I hope they do it justice in the show.
Oh, he dies after Princess. Nice.
After.
Or not nice. After. Yeah, that's what I said, wasn't it?
After Rihanna.
After Rihanna.
That's just gonna be her new name.
Bum 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 bum. Got a love in a lonely place. Got eaten by a dragon. It's a lonely place. Oh, I'll stop. Sorry. Please don't leave. I'm done.
This ain't the voice tryouts, man.
Oh. I thought this was karaoke night on our channel.
Oh, we could do that.
Oh, we should do that. We should do a karaoke night. You know what I was thinking, and I was.
Do we hate people? Why would we do that to them?
Well, there might be a small subset of fellow nerds that just think your singing voice is really lovely.
Sarah said absolutely not. Thank you. These two are mad. They're crazy thinking we can pull off karaoke night.
What was that word before not?
It is. Go to your cage, Doug. Okay. Sounds like we are probably done with House of the Dragon. But we can always come back. Something comes up, we can definitely talk about it. Two little tidbits came up for a certain character appearing in the MCU.
Okay.
And something after that. And I don't know if you're ready for who it is.
Is it Wonder Man?
The Silver Surfer.
Oh.
Huh. All right.
So, word leaked yesterday or the day before. I can't remember. I can't keep track of these things anymore. Too much going on. That he is going to show up in the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Really?
Is that this year or next year?
It's this
That's
year.
This year.
This December.
Wow, that's a hell of a way to introduce him.
Yes, I would be. It'll be interesting to see if that is true because James Gunn did say a lot of new characters are getting introduced during the holiday special.
It'd be hilarious if he just came walking onto a stage carrying his surfboard and, hey everybody, Silver Surfer here, just here to sing a holiday tune.
Well, the weather outside is frightening. I'm just kidding. I'll stop singing. But
the weather outside is cloudy, and his name happens to be Galactus.
So-
And big and purple.
so here's the other little bit that went along with it.
You're a cage. Oh, she told us to go to her cage.
Oh,
I'm with you on that, Carrie.
I just thought of a great idea. If we can figure out the graphics for it, we create an Infinity Stone level that'll put like cage thing down over our picture.
oh, that's a good idea.
Just it'd be funny.
You are
Now that Pierre
caged.
has introduced it.
So, not only is he being introduced, and
I get
Dave,
treats.
Dave gets Fireball.
that's right.
Oh.
Oh, he gets treats because he's not singing. Yes, absolutely. Did I just say absolutely?
You could have said absolutely. Silly bastard.
My parents were married when I was born.
You know, the other phrase that went through my head at that moment, besides silly bastard, was son of a bitch. And I'm thinking, why am I insulting his parents?
Yeah,
That's
why
just
would you do
uncalled
that?
for.
So, the other part to this is that Silver Surfer is going to get a special presentation on Disney Plus.
Okay.
And
Oh,
what
like
does-
those one of those, like a werewolf by night type thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Ow! Sorry.
Okay,
did my
now you're
werewolf by night.
caged. But that I'm assuming that would be a prequel. Well, basically him becoming the Silver
Introduction to his
Surfer.
character.
Because for those of you who don't know how Norrin Rad became the Silver Surfer, Galactus came to his planet and was going to devour it. And he basically said, hey, let me help you find other planets. I'll basically be your herald if you save my planet and the people I love. And Galactus was like, okay, here's some power cosmic. Go find me planets to eat. So we can
Galactus
see
is
that.
like, I'm not all that. I mean, I'll
Yeah.
put you to work. What the hell?
Hey, if your goody two shoes wants to find me planets without a bunch of people on it, I don't care. I just want to eat. If you can get me planets faster than I can find them, boom. You're hired, young man. Here's a surfboard and some silver skin. Now hop to it, Hop Sing. But this could be kind of what I was talking about. You know, we need to see Galactus being all powerful and the things he can do, because then that way when he gets to Earth and, you know, the Fantastic Four and maybe other heroes need to fight him, we'll know how powerful he is. It won't just be, hey, there's some cloud floating up there. We got to stop it before he devours the planet. So I'm all for this. I'm pretty excited. I think Silver Surfer is a great character, and seeing his origin prior to Galactus showing up in any other movies, I think would be fantastic. They got too much else going on to really have Galactus attack Earth at this point.
They always have something going on. I actually think what would I think it would be a good way for him to kind of like narrate his way through this story. If they had Silver Surfer do a sort of storytelling thing similar to the way that Dr. Manhattan did throughout all of his different, when he was like, the year is 1962. I am at a carnival, and I'm doing such and such. Like, what if he did that, but it was like, it is galactic year 2063. I am in front of a world. It will soon be consumed. And then he does this, like with each world that he helped, bring an end to, and it's just like, it would be super depressing, but it would definitely give the average viewer who doesn't know, like, what he has to do, what his whole story is, what his deal is, like, oh shit, he's definitely like he's a dark character. Damn.
Well, and I think they could do themselves a service by showing that this guy giving some foreshadowing for those of you that don't know. When Galactus does attack Earth, Silver Surfer turns against him.
Yeah.
Because he wants to save this planet and the people in it, because he sees how special they are and all this other stuff. And Galactus ends up imprisoning him on Earth forever, which he does escape later at some point with Mr. Fantastic's help. But, he turns against him. So if you set that up, so it's not like the Game of Thrones finale, where something heavy like that came out of nowhere and makes no sense. You could see the breadcrumbs being laid out that, he cares about people, and, even though he's a herald for a planet devourer, he still sees the good in people, and this is something that would fit his character. So I'm hoping that's why they're doing it. And plus, it'd be great to see him just surfing through space.
Yes. Also, what would be really great is to not have his stomach turn into an Etch-a-Sketch and a viewing portal, like it did in Fantastic Four 2.
I don't know, Dave. I don't know, Doug. I think that would be awesome if he is a giant silver Teletubby. He goes to planets, and it's his universal translator. You are going to be eaten by a giant purple guy.
I'm sorry. Should I be looking at your face, or this is so weird?
If you can get off the planet, go now. That is what I'm here to tell you.
Oh, Carrie. Well, Carrie, I hope I enlightened you a little bit with Silver Surfer. We should maybe do an in focus.
Oh,
yep.
Before
I'll get right on that.
Excellent. So, in focus coming soon, but I mean, Silver Surfer has been such a great character throughout the thing. He's joined the Guardians at times. He does what's good. He's a hero's hero. He wants to help people and do the right thing. So, that's awesome news. I hope it happens. Once again, merely rumor. James Gunn has not confirmed that he's showing up in the Guardians Holiday Special, and nothing's been confirmed about him getting his own sort of special presentation. But we hope it's true. Now, are you ready?
In the comics, Deadpool was the herald for Galactus for a short period of time. Have you read that?
I feel like he would
I did not
enjoy
read
it,
that.
though.
Oh my god.
That sounds like something he'd be into.
Funny. Very funny.
I'm trying to remember all the heralds of Galactus. They had Airwalker, Silver Surfer, Firelord, Nova. Not Nova, Richard Rider Nova, but Frankie Rye, who was a Human Torch type character. She became a herald for a while. Terex the Tamer. Thor was one for a while. That might be it.
And Deadpool.
You already answered
Deadpool,
Gary's
yes.
question?
Okay, who's the Atom guy, or someone who's really powerful? Danny mentioned him before. Adam Warlock. He is an extremely powerful cosmic entity in the Marvel Universe. And basically we saw at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 when she goes, and I will name him Adam. That was basically hinting that he is showing up and part of the Sovereign. But I don't think he'll stick with the Sovereign, especially if she wants Adam to go kill the Guardians. He'll probably see that, the Guardians are doing good and won't do it. But I forget the kid playing.
He is the keeper of the gauntlet.
Carrie, I don't remember if you've been tuning into our Let's Plays on Wednesday, but in our last Wednesday Let's Play, we got to meet the Adam Warlock of the Guardians of the Galaxy video game world.
And we met his alter ego, the Magus, who is like the evil version of him.
I just felt like Jerry right there. You remember when Tammy comes back in Rick and Morty, and she's attacking them and goes, Tommy, Tamia, and she's shooting him.
Do you feel like Jerry a lot?
What's that?
Do you feel like Jerry a lot?
Yeah, I do.
Oh. Oh, your parole is Sunday nights only. We're glad we are glad you spend them with us. We appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so, well, that was just the scoop about the Guardians holiday special was from Alex at My Cosmic Circus, who does a pretty good job with their scoop. So I'm hoping that's true. Now the other scoop that came today is one from one of my favorite scoopers, Murphy's Multiverse.
Oh yeah,
Who
they're really good.
They are. I mean, they're pretty straightforward with you. You know, they won't. A lot of scoopers are like, I know everything. The trailer's coming out this and this, but this was dropped today, just a few hours before we came online. That Ezra Bridger is getting his own Disney Plus show. And it is going to take place post the Ahsoka series.
Okay. So
So she's going to get him out from wherever he is. Well, that's a bad foreshadowing then, damn it.
well, I think that might be okay. And I remember we were talking about this back when they first announced that there was going to be an Ahsoka series. We were discussing, like, what do you think, Ezra's going to be like? And I had theorized back then, he's probably going to be mentally not okay. And I think that would be an interesting thing to explore. The amount of time that he spent with Thrawn, having to do whatever he had to do to stay alive, he's probably not okay upstairs.
No, probably not.
And he's pretty powerful.
Completely went to the dark side. And then he is hyper-focused on killing people.
Mm-hmm.
And he could be. I mean, it very much being with Thrawn all that time, who's a master manipulator, very intelligent. He could have brought Ezra over to more to his side. So it'll be interesting to see how they play that all through. Let's see. Sierra asks, would you prefer the Guardians of the Galaxy movies be more like the game? No. I think the movies are great. I love the game too. Don't get me wrong. I think they're both their own thing, and I'm glad they're different. Because I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't want the video game to be just like the movies, and I don't want the movies to be, just like the game. They're their own things, and it makes it interesting.
I agree. I totally agree. I think that, both serve their purpose, and I appreciate some of the similarities that they've carried between the two, but at the same time, I also like the fact that they have their own unique personalities separate from each other, too.
Yeah, and I guess, thinking about it, I suppose, honestly, like I wish the Mantis in the movies was a little more like the game one. But not that I dislike the Mantis character from the movies. I just think the video game has her a little closer to her comic origins. So that'd be cool. But, I mean, no complaints about either one. And just so everyone knows, we're moving our Let's Play to Thursdays. So if you come to hang out with us Wednesday night, we're not here, it's because we moved it to Thursdays. And that way, well, no, I guess not that way, but when we do our At the Theater reviews on Thursday night, we won't be doing our Let's Plays that week, just to kind of keep it, because,
consistent.
Much like Carrie, I can't do this every night with kids. I can't leave this all up to my wife to do every night. So, 2 nights a week is enough until, we have, a couple million followers and all that good stuff.
And then we'll be doing it during the daytime anyway, so...
That's true. Yeah.
Which, by the way, shameless plug here. If those of you who are watching happen to notice, if you're watching this later on YouTube, or if you're watching us live on Twitch, you'll notice that there is a shiny little link to buy us a coffee. So if you want to support us and you're able to, you do not have to, but if you want to support us and you're able to, you can head over to Buy Us a Coffee. Throw us a couple of bucks, help us buy a new camera or something, get us some gear, and maybe get us a studio. And hey, not your status quo 24/7. We'll never stop streaming.
And don't forget our swag shop as well.
That's right. We've got some new swag in there.
And Sierra, we'd love to buy you a coffee. We do owe you. We owe you something because of the awesome art that you made. I don't know. I know Dave's dad pool is back there. Oh, he's not even showing it, Sierra. I think it's time to cage him up. But we got my.
I'll tell you what happened.
You don't love your daughter.
TV.
You don't love your daughter, and you're hiding it. Shame on you, Dave.
I had it back there sitting on the TV, and I realized that only like half of it was on there. So I was going to move it over here, and I totally forgot. But here it is.
He hates me. But we do. We need to send you something, money, a shirt, something like that. Absolutely, we love the artwork. We do appreciate it. Oh, and then Carrie said, "Kids are a buzzkill," as HOD showed. Yes, HOD definitely showed that. You know, I love my kids dearly, but there are times when I'm like, "Can I please just have 5 minutes
No.
without you asking me a question?" And oh, you'll take all the above. Excellent, excellent. But yeah, House of Dragon definitely has showed that kids definitely a buzzkill, especially when they're not the dads. Man, we're at the 2 hour mark. A lot of good conversation today. Anyone have
By the way,
anything?
have you seen her, the way she signs her
I like it.
initials right there?
That's cool.
That is very cool.
Right? Is that on yours too, Keith?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's in white though.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh, wait a minute. Is that,
It's not exactly the
the same.
same. Oh, it isn't.
Oh, okay.
She's figuring out her artistic mark.
The night does go by quickly.
Yeah, it does.
But we got House of the Dragon tonight. We got our giveaway, spinning the wheel to find the winner tomorrow. Don't forget about that, everybody.
Now, are you going to do that
Should be
tomorrow? Or are you
exciting.
going to wait until after we post this video on YouTube to do it?
I may do it tomorrow because we can't post this video till Tuesday, 24 hours after this.
Okay.
So I was going to try to post the winner video and maybe part 6 of Black Rain back issue breakdown YouTube shorts. Oh, and it'll be different for Doug also. So she does change her
alright.
signature a little bit. That's cool.
Well, then I know why she did it that way. Thank you, Sierra.
Well, she may have forgot how she signed yours since yours is always off camera, unlike mine, who is always very visible behind me.
Ooh, that's me. No, this is kind of like the way I signed my initials. So she wanted to
Oh, very
pay
cool.
tribute to that. I guess that's really cool.
Oh, I didn't know that. But now I do.
And
Now
knowing
we
is
all
half the
do,
battle.
and the more you know.
And then we got, we got Let's Play this Thursday. We got our giveaway tomorrow. We got
When is Tales of the Jedi coming out?
Wednesday
This week?
this week.
Perfect. Beautiful. We could talk about that too.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about that on Thursday or wait till Sunday?
Maybe wait till Sunday.
Okay.
But we'll see.
how it
We'll
goes.
let the people
We'll see how
decide.
I feel. I
Well-
kind of want to I've been enjoying Andor so much. I want to talk about that as soon as I can.
I'm with you. That show is
I
just
need
been
the
so
internet to hear me gush about it. Because I
Uh-oh.
really need more people to watch it. It's such a good series.
Well, Tundra Walker has just joined, and he said, "House of the
geez.
Dragon. Wow, run, don't walk."
Really, it's that good.
So it sounds
damn,
like
Carrie, you heard that. It's apparently an amazing episode. So, okay, Tundra Walker, was tonight's episode better than the one, not last week's, but the week before last? Because that's what Carrie was saying. She said nothing could compare to that one. It was that good.
Nothing compares.
up jail
Up into the cage.
cage. Oh, it's the best I've seen so far.
Wow, that good? Holy.
Does that include Game of Thrones?
Good
Damn.
question.
All right. Shoot, Keith, do I attempt to watch it tonight and then slug through work tomorrow?
I know. I was just thinking. Sounds like I have to stay up and watch it tonight now.
Run.
Okay.
Don't walk.
I don't think too many of our coworkers watch this, so I think I feel safe admitting this. There have been a couple of times where I have stayed up late to watch something, and then the following day, I have caught myself zoning completely out, going in autopilot, and I don't know what I have just said. And I would love to one of these days go back and listen to one of my recordings from my trainings and just hear the nonsense that's probably spilling out of my mouth. Click on enter in the
It's funny you say that because
schedule or
Click
something.
the
I don't know.
drop down menu here and click
Like
on this one.
I stayed up late watching Andor last Wednesday, and Thursday I had a pilot kickoff meeting with some of the channels, some internal people, and I talked for like 50 minutes straight without taking a breath. I would be everyone. Any questions? Anyone? No. Okay. I just kept talking and talking, and after one of our coworkers, Dave, called me on. He's like, "Good job." I'm like, "Honestly, Dave, I don't remember a thing I said. I got to rewatch it." I was like, just talking.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, well, it was good." I'm like, "Oh, thank God," because I couldn't tell you what I said.
There was one time I literally did that. I was like in total autopilot mode. And when I sent them all to lunch, I'm like, oh my God, I need to get caffeine in my system. I got to get some food. I got to get something to like wake me up because I am so drowsy right now. I think what I'm saying makes sense, but I don't know because I'm not totally aware of what I'm saying. But I was doing the same thing. Like, okay, let's go on through. All right, you know what? I'm not even going to bother asking these questions. Let's move on to the next topic.
Well, it sounds like we should probably end here because we should all go watch House of the Dragon. So, don't forget to hit us up at Twitter, leave that comment down below. We will see you next time on Not Your Status Quo.